Boy, oh boy, what a first day of round of 32, man. A round of 32 deliver, man. Like, we were waiting for it and it delivered. Three games, man, three great games, two upsets. And yeah, let's get into it, man. After the group stage, and then everybody was complaining about the bracket, how like one side of the bracket is loaded, and then the other side, I think on the right side, we have like Brazil, England, Argentina, and of course, I think we can put Colombia in there. And then the other side, we got France, Germany, Portugal, Spain, like Netherlands. Everybody was like, man, what is this? That's the thing, man. That's the beauty when it comes to football. And of course, is the World Cup, man. All those teams, they fought to get here. It's not like they just gave them a qualification pass. They had to fight for it. And then that's what happened, man. And then guess what, man? Two of the big boys, man, fall out, man. So let's start with the Brazil game, man. And of course, man, it's Brazil, man. For the last 8 World Cups, man, Brazil always reach the quarterfinals, And so Brazil played a great game, man. Brazil played a great game. Japan just came in the first minute, packed the boss, just let Brazil have the ball and then defend. And then they did a pretty good job, man. They did a pretty good job until that first Casemiro goal. Their goal, man, was a great goal. I think the reason they scored that goal, not the reason they scored that goal is because I think Casemiro had a yellow card. If Casemiro didn't have a yellow card, it will definitely foul him. Since he was already on a yellow, so we let him go. And then Gabriel, Gabriel, man, like, I don't know why it was keep moving back. You got nobody else behind you. The players coming in right in front of you. You can already see Casemiro not gonna catch up with him, but Gabriel keep moving back, and then Brazil down 1-0, man, and then Japan, they spent the first half, man, defending really well. Brazil didn't really have an answer for them, and then in the second half, man, things changed a little bit because at the beginning of the second half, man, it was courses and courses inside the box. Because if you look at the first half, Brazil was having a hard time breaking them down on one-on-ones, trying to find shot outside the box, trying to dribble their way inside. That wasn't working. So at the beginning of the first half, man, at the beginning of the second half, man, what they did, man, service after service, man. And then Casemiro, man, Casemiro was there, man, always there with those headers, man. Like, so many headers this year in the Premier League for United, so it was just a matter of time, man. And Brazil's second goal, man, is going to come the last minute of the game, man. Martinelli, bro. When that sub is happening, I'm like, Martinelli? You taking out a striker, you bringing a ringer when you already have Vini in the ring. Oh, honestly, I thought it was gonna be Neymar. I thought it was gonna be Neymar. I thought like Andrew was gonna play the 9 position, and then Neymar was gonna play as a Kim for Cunha, and then it was Martinelli. I'm like, really, Martinelli, man? There's a reason, man. Ancelotti is the coach. There's a reason Ancelotti is a coach, man. Like, when it comes to experience, man, it's not something you should ever doubt, man. And then Martinelli scored the winning goal. It's sub, man, like, I didn't like this sub at all, man. And then he got the winning goal, man. 2-1, Brazil advanced to round of 16. And then later on, man, we got Germany and Paraguay. That Paraguay team, USA beat them 4-1. The first game of the World Cup, they lost it 4-1. And now the first game after the group stage is against Germany, So, here's the thing, though. Germany should have known, playing Paraguay, they're not going to do anything else but park the bus. That's what we're going to see with all the underdogs. Most of the underdogs, man, the first minute, they're going to park the bus. And then waiting for a counter attack, we saw with Japan, and then we saw with Paraguay. And Germany didn't play anything, man. Dude, Germany didn't get a shot on target in the first half. Bro, nothing. Sane didn't play anything, man. The only person you saw in the game was Arvet and Musiala. Musiala played a good game, man. First half, second half, Musiala ball out. But we wanted more, man, from Sane, from the midfield. Yeah, we saw Kimmich a little bit. But, dude, come on, man. It seemed like they weren't ready for the game. It's like they didn't come to play at all, man. Like, Germany played so bad, man. Yeah, and then Paraguay got the lead, man, at 1-0. It seemed like that, man. They didn't even think about scoring, and now they score. Of course, man, it was gonna be hard for them. But Havertz, man, of course, a beautiful header, man, tied the game 1-1, and then Ta scored late goals, from a corner kick. But this here was a foul, man. We see this a lot in the Premier League, especially, man, especially with Arsenal, man. We see a lot of those corner goals where the goalkeeper is fighting his way to go get the ball, and he just can't because too many players in front of him. So coming into the World Cup, this is a new rule. If you prevent the goalkeeper, man, get out to play the ball, it's gonna be a foul. And then you can say it's a weak challenge, but the goalie sold it really well. I mean, you can say all that, but it went too far, give it as a foul, man, and then it was a foul, so they took out the goal, 1-1, extra time, and then PK. They were winning 2-0 in PK. They were winning 2-0 in PK, man, and then you were back-to-back saves. The game is tied. And then guess who coming again? Ta. Yeah, man. So Ta has a bad day, man, Like, Gadvor taking out your winning goal like this, man. And then after your goalkeeper, man, back-to-back save, bro, to tie the game in PK. And then you did that, man. Sky, man. Sky. I think they are still looking for that ball right now, man. And then, of course, man, a Paraguay buried theirs at the back of the net. And then they won. They won. That's the first offset of round of 32, man. We're like, damn, man, Paraguay, bro. Paraguay actually got it done. Hopefully, man. Honestly, man, I was waiting for a friends, Germany, man, in July 4th in Philly, bro. I was trying so hard to get a ticket to that game. I know it's friends, but I can't already say, I can't say it's going to be France Paraguay because you never know, man. You never know, bro. Now, if you look at the bracket now, you can say that left side is now weaker than the right side where everybody was complaining that. Oh, what a mess, man. And then we got Netherlands and Morocco. I know this game was going to be a great game. I know this game was going to be a great game, man. That was the game I was looking forward to. But again, man, Netherlands did not come to play. Like, dude, you're playing against Morocco. I think Morocco is the underdog. Like, I think Morocco was the underdog. I know there was the semifinals last year, but still, man, they were the underdog. And what Netherlands did, they came playing 5-4-1. Bro. Oh, I don't know, man. I think this is the first time I actually see Netherlands playing like that. Most of the time, they usually play 3 in the back. And then when they are defending, of course, that 3 usually shift to a 5 in the back. But they actually start with 5 in the back. They actually start with 5 in the back, man. Netherlands was playing good for the first 20 minutes. Or I would say for the first 15 minutes. I remember the first 5 minutes in the first half before the hydration break, it was all Morocco. And in that time, and during that time, man, Morocco got like 3 shots on target, man. 3, bro. And in less than like 5 minutes. Since then, it's been Morocco throughout the game. After the hydration break, you could see like the Netherlands coach was more aggressive talking to his players while Morocco was relaxing because they had the momentum. And then nothing changed, man. Nothing changed. The second half, it was the same thing again. The worst thing is, man, even after the score, well, I'm not going to say it's the worst thing. I mean, it's been a tough game. It's been a tough game, man. You're getting closer to the end of the game. Your players are getting tired. You're winning 1-0. Of course, you should pack the bus, right? But when they got the ball, they didn't even want to attack, man. Morocco came to play, and then, they got the goal, man. They got the goal, and then they tied the game 1-1. And then still, boy, during extra time, it was still Morocco. It seemed like Netherlands was like, you know what, man? Let's just relax and go to PK. Bro, you guys are the Netherlands, man. Like, you represent something when it comes to the World Cup. Like, you guys got histories. Even though you guys haven't won the World Cup, but you guys got legends that play in the tournament, man. You guys got a story, man. You got the football at home. So I was very surprised during the extra time how deep they were still sitting. It seemed like they didn't even want to try. And then they make like 6 substitutions. You cannot tell me you guys were just tired. The Moroccan were tired too because they played the whole game, man. So that was a well-deserved win. Honestly, man, I don't think that's an upset, man, because we saw Morocco first game of the tournament. It was against Brazil, man. Or they play against Brazil. They control most of the game against Brazil, man. They were so close to get a win, to get that win from Brazil. They were the best team against Brazil by a mile, man. So I'm not gonna stand here and say that's an upset. I think a lot of people expect that to happen to Morocco to beat Netherlands, because of Netherlands' history, their history when it comes to the World Cup. You can say, well, it's the upset. It's Morocco. They just reached the semifinals last year. Before that, there ain't nothing else. But I had a feeling they could have got it done, and then they actually did that, man. They actually got it done. For Paraguay, it's a different story. I did not expect Paraguay to even score one goal, and then to go to extra time and then to win in PK. That was something else. But yeah, Netherlands, man, they are out, man. This is the first time in their history they got out so early. I mean, this is the first time there's around 32, so I think it's gonna be the first time for almost every team. But yeah, man. So now Paraguay is through, Brazil is through, and then Morocco is through. So we got like 4 teams, and then Canada. So we got 4 teams that are already through, man. And honestly, man, I can't believe it. That's Germany, man, Netherlands. So that is like two big dogs, man. That got out that early, man. Two big dogs, man. So there's gonna be more surprise to come. Not sure which side is gonna come from, man, but I feel like there's gonna be more surprise that's gonna come in this World Cup, man. So that's the thing, man. Don't just look at the bracket and judge it, man. Let the game play. Let the game play, man. Everything should happen on the field. But yeah, man, that was day one of round of 32, man. You guys let me know who stood out for you, man. Which player or which team, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.